Welcome to the Chamber's Edge, a podcast for the Loveland Chamber of Commerce, and I'm Mindy McLuhan, President and CEO. We're proud to be the voice of business as a catalyst for business growth, convener of leaders and influencers, and a champion for a stronger community. We strengthen the community by supporting businesses, driving economic development, and fostering collaboration, ensuring Loveland and our citizens can continue to thrive. So join us as we explore topics relevant to your business regarding current legislation, local policy, and issues facing our community. Hi, I'm Mindy McLuhan, President and CEO of the Loveland Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to our very first podcast edition. Today, we want to welcome special election candidates Jeff Fromm and Jennifer Swante from Ward 1. And just for informational purposes for our listeners, this special election is to replace Troy Crenning's seat. We'll be interviewing both candidates with a series of pro-business questions. Also note that neither candidate has been given a copy of the questions in advance, so this will be the first time they've heard of them and even given the opportunity to respond. We will also give both candidates the opportunity to introduce themselves and share their campaign platform and why they're choosing to run for City Council Ward 1 seat. So with that, we're going to jump right into both candidates. So Jennifer, welcome. Why don't you give us your introduction?
Yeah, my name is Jen Swante. I am a single mother. I've been in Loveland here for probably about 30 years. My dad and I ran an all-state office in Loveland for quite a long time, and now I'm an independent insurance broker over with Castle. I am running for the city councilor open position. Really, I just want to bring some calm to the city council, hopefully, maybe a little bit more common sense, a little less volatileness. I'm very pro affordable housing. That's sort of my passion. I'm a huge advocate towards education and transparency in government.
Wonderful. Jeff, give us your candidate platform and why you're running for this seat.
Well, thank you for having me. Of course, Jeff Fromm. I'm a third-generation Lovelander. I've been here a long time. Went to Loveland High School. My two daughters are going to Loveland High School right now, so loving that they're kind of experiencing the same thing I did growing up in those halls. Right now, I sit on the Planning Commission for Loveland, and have enjoyed that a lot of the interaction with the issues and with the applicants, much like City Council does. But seeing that and seeing public comment. And interacting with the public that way, I really enjoyed that. And so as this seat came up, I feel like I can be a part of moving Loveland forward.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, let's go ahead and dive into our questions. And the first question this morning is, how do you view economic development and incentives as beneficial to the city of Loveland, and what should those look like?
It's a great question. So first off, I feel like a big frustration that I have with incentives is when you watch that come up at council or in public comment, there's a misconception, I believe, that people have about what those incentives look like. I think that there's a concept that so there's a check being written from the general fund to a developer, to a business, and that's just not the case. So when I look back to, I believe it was September, the city council meeting, there was a presentation that showed what the 2014 through 2024, what our incentives have done in terms of return on investment. And the aggregate of that was 423%. And I think that's just an amazing return on investment. So we're doing something right. And it's really important that Loveland be at the table when new ideas, new businesses want to come to the area, because that's revenue for us.
So your first question, Jen, is how do you view economic development and incentives as beneficial to the city of Loveland, and what should they look like?
Good question. I don't have a great answer right off the top of my head. I think it's very important that Loveland grows, that we attract small businesses, that we help out, incentivize our local business owners. As far as what a incentive would look like, that would be something I would need to talk to business owners about and say, what would help you? What would encourage you to bring your business to Loveland or expand your business in Loveland?
Okay. All right. Question number 2. What programs and incentives would you support, if any, to make housing more attainable and affordable in Loveland?
So I'm currently a commissioner on the Loveland Affordable Housing Commission, and I was a board member for the Loveland Housing Authority. And one of the areas that I think that we need to work on in Loveland as far as attainable and affordable housing is encouraging more developers to come and apply for things like fee waivers and build affordable housing, because currently we have 2 or maybe 3 organizations that even offer to do that in Loveland right now.
Second question, Jeff. What programs and incentives would you support, if any, to make housing more attainable, affordable in Loveland?
Affordable housing, attainable housing it's a really tough concept, and it's hard because the American dream is alive and well in Loveland, and that is that you own a home, you're going to start building wealth. So unfortunately, affordable housing is kind of a one and done in most models. That means that once you're in there, that house benefits a family one time, and then it's for sale at market value again in the future. So that's really frustrating that we have that. But I do like the models that we have, like Habitat for Humanity, where you have a lot of sweat equity in each home, and then there are restrictions on the deed that keep people in those homes or keep that home eligible for the next family to come in and enjoy that affordable housing benefit. So keeping with those programs, I think, is important.
Wonderful. And thirdly, how do you view the current and complex homelessness issues in Loveland and its impact on Loveland businesses?
Homelessness is a problem, and it's been growing year after year. It seems like this past 10 years is way more than we've seen in my lifetime. I think that homelessness, the way we're approaching it right now with our tent city, or even with this First Christian Church concept that's on the horizon, I'm not happy with how the city has approached homelessness. The one problem, though, is that this isn't a Loveland problem. It's everywhere, and it can't just be a Loveland solution. I think that we need to form partnerships with the county, the state, even maybe federal partnerships to address this together, because with the transient nature of homelessness, we don't know where everybody's from, and that changes constantly. So I think that we need to be a part of a team, be a part of the solution, but not be the solution.
Number 3, how do you view the current and complex homeless issues in Loveland and its impact on Loveland businesses?
So that's a tricky one. I don't have a solution for the homeless problem, and I don't think that anyone else has a great solution yet. I think that we're getting closer. I like the idea of a resource center. I don't think we've found the perfect place for it yet, and I don't think we've got great answers for a lot of our concerns, things like security with a center like that. How do we have it in a neighborhood where maybe there's small children? As far as the impact on business owners, I know that I met with Ray Steele, and I know they now have like a person, I can't remember what he called it, that's available for downtown for the businesses that they can call if there's an issue with a unhoused person. And I think that's fairly new, and I think that's a great step in the right direction. I personally currently don't feel safe having my daughter walk from Bill Reed to the library. So for me, I think we really need to address the safety.
Yeah, that says a lot right there. Thank you for that. Last question. What do you consider are the top 3 priorities for the city of Loveland moving forward?
Well, we want to encourage people to come to Loveland, which means we need to figure out a way to give back some of our resources, our parks and rec, our programs. I think increasing services offered, recreational services, and social services. We do need to focus on the homelessness situation. I think that needs to be one of our top priorities. Figuring out a solution that benefits everybody. And I think that right now we have a huge gap in our education funding, and that we need to make that a priority as well.
So are you saying with education funding that you view that as the city's responsibility, or are we talking state funding, or can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, I think the city's responsibility is getting the knowledge out there to the citizens. Why would you approve a mill levy? Why would you approve a bond? Why do you need this money? I think that a lot of people are like, oh, well, we just gave them money 5 years ago, and they don't know what the needs are. And all of the citizens should be advocating for our children, right? They're our most important asset, really. They're the ones that are going to be taking care of us in 20 years.
We hope, right?
Hopefully. Some of them I've met, I don't know, I want them to take care of me, but.
Right.
So yes, I do think it's the city's responsibility to educate our children, not necessarily fund the schools, but increase awareness and advocating for it.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you, Jen. And last question, what do you consider are the top 3 priorities for the city of Loveland moving forward?
One thing that we've kind of stepped away from in the city of Loveland is being the full service city that we are and what we've been proud of for a long time. And so we're cutting back on services. So I think we need to work on reversing that to building our revenue up through smart growth. That's a partnership of both having perhaps more revenue from taxes, because we are the lowest taxed municipality in Northern Colorado, figuring out a way to, I don't want to just add taxes to everybody, but help us pay our share there. And then in addition, smart growth with those incentives and bringing in businesses, because every time you bring a business in, that means more sales tax, means more revenue for the city. So that's first. My second is safety. I think that we have an amazing police department. It's been in the news a lot, but not for good things, but we still have amazing officers. But the last count I heard, we have 119 out of somewhere around 165 that a town of our size would require. So we need to definitely build that up a little bit. Our fire department has made great strides lately, and we need to keep that going. So safety really is my number 2. And then number 3 would be just to find calm. We've had a real turbulent year in city leadership. We lost a lot of great high-level staff because of this turbulence. And I think figuring out a way to recognize that the council has really two roles. They number one, are hire, fire, and oversee 3 staff members, and then they direct the city manager to navigate the issues of Loveland. And we just need to stay in our lane and stick to that and just find calm. I think that would be very important.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your comment. All right. Well, we want to thank both of our candidates for participating in the Chamber podcast and allowing our listeners to get a glimpse into who those candidates are and their positions on these critical issues facing our community. To our listeners, please remember a few important things during this special election. 1, ballots drop in a few weeks, just mid-February, and the election itself is on March 4th. So please make sure to watch your mail and do not throw away this very important ballot, mistaking it for junk mail. Also, be sure to cast your vote, as your vote is most important for the future of Loveland. There are over 14,385 residents that are registered to vote in that ward. We need to hear from you. And then, no matter what side of the political aisle you sit on, please review the candidates' answers carefully and vote for the best candidate possible for Ward 1. Lastly, we can all choose to be kind and respectful to one another, even if we don't all agree. So in the words of the late, great Mickey Roth, the world is full of good people. If you can't find one, be one. Until next time, I'm Mindy McLuhan. Have a great day.